Hello again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
It is the time, your favorite time of the week. But not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews and your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly. Fans, brews, and Broncos news. What's up, Broncos country? Welcome to another episode of Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS. Tonight, in lieu of all of the bad things going on in Broncos country, namely Von Miller, we do have Ayla here tonight. And really, we hear from these other guys all too often. So, Ayla, I'm just going to give you the floor. There you go. Good to see you. Glad you're here. I guess
I'm just like, sprinkles on y'all's Sundays because you guys are everything about this show, and you are the brownie, they are the ice cream, somebody's some sauce, and then you just have me here, and it's like, hee. And we got sprinkles today. Sprinkles in the house.
Yes. What? You start calling you sprinkles? What?
Rainbow sprinkles. Yeah.
There you go.
Sure.
It's coming in hot. I love it.
Which one of us is the sauce? Do you have a
Hey, Kevin, you're kind of the brownie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Brownie? Okay. We could
Start
create this
strong
into
today,
a
guys. Starting
cooking
strong.
show.
Also,
really,
Kevin,
really great?
Where's my introduction like that every week? Come on.
You're here every week. That's the thing.
That's fair.
I was just doing stuff, but I love you guys and I love our show. And I'm the chair. Yeah, except not a machino. Like I'm a real cherry because that shit's fake, and I'm obviously real deal cherries. But I think I'm rainbow sprinkles. So, no, missed you guys. A lot going on. Super happy for a win finally. So that made me feel good. And there's a lot to look forward to for this weekend. Obviously the headline of everything is no more Von Miller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even in our highlights reel, I was sitting there and I kind of just was just like, oh my God, no, we have to take him out of the highlight.
And I'm not taking out this year. I'm not going to.
Please don't. He's going to be a Bronco. He's a Bronco forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's done so much. He's amazing. And I can't talk about it too much because it's like my parents leaving today. Like I'm going to cry on both affairs. So
yeah.
Well, don't cry,
do that.
Because I got some good news for you and everybody else out there. Of course, the Broncos won this last week, and we all enjoy a win. Well, there's another opportunity for everybody to win, and that's through DraftKings. And all you have to do, first off, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game. And if they do, you'll win $200 in free bets at DraftKings Sportsbook. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's that simple. No crying for you, Ayla. This is something that we can all do to get some easy money. If
If it's
Sportsbook
a lot
isn't
of
available in your
states,
state yet,
for sure.
DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contests. And DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Here's what we need you all to do to cash in on this. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code TPPN, and bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If you win, they win. If they win, you win, all using promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. Of course, you must be 21 years or older. New customers only, minimum $5 deposit and $5 wager required. One per customer, restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Maybe that cheered you up there, Ayla.
It did. You know what? Because I love winning, and that sounds like a great deal. Easy code to type in, TPPN for that. I think it's actually at the bottom of our screen, right under the DraftKings, so you can't forget it. You might as well sign in. Who has a $5? Everybody. I mean, you're going to go buy a sandwich, or you're going to buy a coffee, or
beer.
or beer, which is way more expensive than $5. So,
A beer.
Yeah.
A beer.
I know. When you're really drunk and you go buy like a beer, a tall boy or a 40, you're like, yes, I need a beer.
We don't have drinking problems or anything.
No. But I will say these ad reads are a lot easier to transition into when we win. It's a little better that way.
Andrew, how
beautiful,
you doing, man?
Beautiful, Andrew. Thanks for coming.
I'm not gonna swear
yet. It's an early night. We have a lot to talk about.
We got time. We got lots of time.
Let's start with it. So, of course, let's just jump into it. The Vaughn trade. We all know what happened, right? A second round, a third round pick for this next year for Vaughn. Here you go, Steve. Vaughn's free agent after this season. Could it be that we get the 2 draft picks and sign him back next year? Me personally, I'm going to think no, because the Rams giving up a second and a third round pick, that tells me that they're probably very invested in him and wanting to sign him. Now, if he turns down that offer and wants to see if the Broncos will give him an offer, I don't know, but I would imagine that the Rams are going to do a lot to try and keep him around for more than just half a season.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know what the Rams cap situation is next year. I know a big part of the reason they had to give up the Broncos a second and a third round pick is because the Broncos picked up $9 million of Vaughn's salary. That's because the Rams couldn't afford to pay that much of Vaughn's salary. They didn't have anywhere near that kind of cap room to bring Von Miller on. So I don't know what that situation is like next year, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to be super easy for them to just re-sign him at the drop of the hat. Les Snead did say he's part of their future. They have a plan for him, but I would expect for him to at least be on the market and available to more than just one suitor next offseason.
Right.
Well, David, funny enough, Google can solve all of our questions.
I just looked it up.
Cap space for next year is sitting at $8 million right now.
$8 million.
27th in the league, just above the person next below them is.
I'm like, that's it? That doesn't sound like much.
Not much.
When we're talking about NFL bucks.
Yeah.
Well, guess who the number 1 team is, though?
Oh, it's the Broncos. We knew that.
It's the Broncos with about 20
Google
million.
just told me that.
80 million. Sorry, 80 million in cap space
coming up. So yeah, it's going to be there for the Broncos if they want to make moves. But I think, you don't bring back a guy like Von Miller unless you solve the quarterback position first. If you get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson in here, then yeah, you can start talking about a guy like Aaron Rodgers. If you get Kirk Cousins or Jimmy Garoppolo in here, I don't think it's a scenario where you're looking to load up and take this team.
Oh my gosh. If we were to get Russell Wilson, my husband would just flip his
Would he be a Broncos fan then?
Well, he already is pseudo, so yes, I'm pretty sure he would transfer 100%.
There you go,
Kevin, 100%.
100%.
But back to your question at hand here, Kevin. I don't see us re-signing Vaughn. I mean, that was part of the reason why we traded him, because they didn't think they thought they were gonna get outbid in the offseason, was the way I interpreted what Peyton said in his interview. Yeah. So, I think there's going to be hungrier teams for a guy like Von Miller, even though Broncos country loves him. He loves the Broncos. But he did bring up the fact that Shannon Sharp came back to the Broncos later in his career, and he did not rule that out. And he kind of talked more about it than I was expecting. So,
well, and here's a weird thing, and it's like so not football, but Vaughn had already bought a house in LA because of his baby to be closer because baby mama moved there. So I don't know what kind of things go on behind closed doors, but that's a thing. And out of all the football teams that you could be traded to, he just happened to be traded to the city where he just bought a new home to be closer to his kids. So just bring in like some weird, girl stuff that I do. I'm trying not to curse quite yet, but it's something to think about.
Looking at Dan's question here, were we surprised that we didn't ask for more? And I don't think it's that we asked. We were fielding, offers.
Yeah.
So,
and a second and third
best.
round with a really good team isn't going to end up being like you're getting the best people overall anyways. I mean, we're going to be like, low hanging fruit at the bottom of the first picks anyways. So not that they're all bad. These are all elite athletes. That sounds like a shitty thing to say, but
I'll tell you what,
a shooty thing to say.
Come on, Ayla. This is PG.
I thought you weren't going to swear. But,
I didn't. I said shooty.
Shooty. I'll tell you what, Daniel. I think the Broncos got a great amount for Von Miller. A second and a third round pick for 9 games of Von Miller is pretty good. Anyway, coming off an injury season, a season where he didn't play all year because of injury. He's 32 years old. He's been banged up this season. He had an ankle injury. He's been, week to week on. 2-day picks that are, pretty decently valuable.
They should be decent.
Yeah, they're going to be lower in the round, but still, you can package those to trade up. You can package those to trade for another player. Mm-hmm. Second and third round picks are nothing to sneeze at. And to get 2 of them for a guy in Von Miller's situation this year for 9 games, I think the Broncos got a pretty decent deal out of that.
Yeah. A lot of Broncos country is hating that deal. Obviously, it's Von Miller. We're going to be a little biased there as well. We should.
They hate a lot of things that we do, anyways. I mean,
I like to go a little bit more towards the reaction of the opposing fan base when a trade like this happens. Yeah. And I know they're happy to get Von Miller, but Rams Twitter is not happy at all about what they gave up to get him. So I take a little solace in.
They're going all in for this year. This is their season. If they don't win the Super Bowl, that's what they're playing for.
That's it. Yeah,
they're selling out for it.
Yeah. And I can't say. I think we all are of one mind, at least, that we'll be Rams fans come playoff time.
Yeah.
Well,
Broncos until the Broncos are eliminated.
Right. When the Broncos are mathematically eliminated, of course.
Not yet.
Happy, right?
Not yet. Aren't we still the 7th seed in the AFC right now?
I don't think so.
We're the 10th. We're 1 game back.
Okay, there's like 4 teams right now. Yeah.
And the Chargers just lost, and the Chiefs aren't. And we're hanging. We're in the exciting start to our whole AFC West. They fell pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they're gonna be the best. Wait, no. They're gonna be per usual. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But at least we got a lot of football to play. We got a whole half of a season, and we're hitting bye weeks. There's a lot happening. Trade deadline's over. We're moving on. So we're into November football. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Christopher, you've got a good point about how Cooper and Browning played.
Yeah,
some good linebacker play all around. Young, I think it was a little bit of a mixed bag. I think he played well early. A little bit later on, he had a few minus plays in there too. But for a first game with the new team, I think he played well. And the young guys played really well. Stinks for Browning that he had a little bit of an injury there, but it was able to come back in the game. So we'll kind of keep an eye on his status in practice this week. Hopefully he can stay healthy because, when he's been out there, he's been able to do good things.
Speaking of players being healthy, God, I don't know which one of you pissed off the injury gods, but
Disney.
stop it.
Sorry.
If you guys, I'm sure most of you have heard, but if not, Noah Fant will probably not be playing, which, we were joking about, like, well, we don't really utilize him very well anyway.
No.
Was it you who said, I think he has more penalties than receptions this year or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Might as well just put another offensive lineman out there for when we're running it, and then put Alberto in there. And just, we're already playing terrible offense anyways, so why not let him know that we're going to pass or we're going to run on that player now?
Let's see. Going through some more of these comments
Which
here.
is such a sad thing because, like, I'm pretty sure everybody can see how talented of an athlete Noah Fant is. And I don't know if that just comes down to play calling or what, but I've always been a fan because when he is working, he's a workhorse and he is a force to be reckoned with. He's a gigantic human being. He's pretty, would just have never, ever put him to use. And people were joking on about, trading him as well. They're like, well, I might as well get rid of him because we don't use him. Well, but why would anybody want him when his talent hasn't been showcased by, what we could do? We haven't even been using any tight ends as much as we should, in my opinion. So,
which goes to Steve, your comment there.
You can say that about most of our players on offense. Like, we have so much talent there that just looks like it's being wasted, of course. And that was our biggest concern going into this season. Like, were we actually going to utilize these guys and show off their talent? But we haven't seen it thus far. It does give me.
Tim Patrick was always showing off, and that guy is. Whatever. Okay, here we go. Back to no Fant. Here we go.
Glenn,
so he maybe won't play.
Tip of the hat.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's see.
Marticela has a good question that we would all like answered right now.
Where's
I do
Jared?
not know where Jared is.
How did I know what she was gonna say?
Yeah.
Have
How
you
do not
lost him?
know?
Yeah,
We don't-
You're
yeah.
supposed to be telling us the answer
Yeah,
to that.
we don't have
With-
a tracking device on him.
with me,
There's, yeah,
Hopefully,
hopefully.
you're not. I don't know.
Anyway,
Oh, geez.
yeah,
You should have the lockdown on that one.
yeah. All right.
Where's Waldo? I don't know. We haven't found.
I feel like we have that conversation every week, do we not?
Yeah, to varying degrees, except for once last week when he was here on time.
Yeah.
At least
now
I
you-
announce when I'm not going to be there, or
That's true.
True.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's just exciting when I show up, and then you guys are, disappointed that Jared's just not on time again.
As per usual.
I'm actually, it makes me
With the standard.
happy because I get to give him shit next time we see him, hopefully in like the next 5 minutes or something.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
fun.
When his
It's-
wife
it's
finds
a joke
him.
that never ends.
get to the closet.
Let's see.
Get in the closet.
Okay, so Mr. Facebook user, Mrs. Facebook user, not sure. However, thanks for watching. Still
We'll
wanting
just
Pat
call him F you.
Shermer- Hey, you. Pat Shermer
Facebook
fired. if
user,
we
get
lose.
I loved it.
Okay,
I
just making
loved it.
sure everybody got
I
it.
loved it.
It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So what I think everybody needs to remember is that the coaching staff got a mandate at the beginning of this season from George Payton, and it was playoffs or bust. And I know it's frustrating to sit through these games week in and week out and think, what maybe something would be different. Maybe it would look less futile with different guys doing the jobs. But I think at this point, and the Von Miller trade confirms it, this season is, it's for all intents and purposes done. I don't think the front office can see this team conceivably competing for a playoff spot in any meaningful way. And I think that it's kind of dead coaching staff walking at this point. I think, because of the relationship between Peyton and Fangio and Shermer, they're not going to get fired during the season. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be a coaching search at the end of the offseason, guys. It's just the way it's going to be.
You know what? I'll tell you who's not going to get fired, and that's Jared.
Oh,
Jared
man.
is definitely not going to get fired.
I appreciate that, even though I constantly show up late. My work
that's
ethic
okay.
is terrible, and everything else that you could possibly list on a reason to fire somebody. How's everybody doing?
We missed
Good,
you.
good to see you. Good to
Yes.
see you, Jared.
Ayla filled in well for you.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Sorry, I'm late, guys.
I put on my tall shoes and made it happen.
Tall shoes.
Beautiful.
I did notice. I love Glenn's comment about Noah Fant and the blocking. I want to bring that back up because I think that's hilarious.
Okay.
The fact who was the one in our chat? I thought that was really funny. Talked about. I think he has more. Yeah, John over there with the. I think he has more holding calls than receptions. I was gonna say more missed blocks for sacks than receptions, but that would have been too mean.
Too mean.
It's turning into
South
Share
Jersey.
Bulls
Great
2.0.
show.
Just like
Yikes.
stop holding people.
Yikes.
Just penalties in general. I don't know if he's frustrated or what, but
I
and
would be.
somebody-
Like you're supposed to be you're supposed to be used more than like you're not really a lineman. Like you are a tight end, and you're supposed to. You are the like hub. You're like the kitchen person who's giving out the food. You're not a chef and you're not a server, but you can move food and you could cook food. So you should be, getting out in the house a little bit and showing your face and making some stuff happen. I would be upset if I were him.
Get out in the house. Absolutely. 100% with you, Ayla.
I have no
Get
clue
out
what
now.
they just said. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
It's okay. I said it really fast, John. So I don't expect man ears to keep up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I thought they drank something weird.
And we have a GoFundMe for John to get some headphones if anybody wants to donate to John's cause. So we
Yep.
can
You
get
can
him
also
some
find that at
earpods or
onlyfans.com.
headphones. Then maybe he'll hear us when we're talking.
Oh no.
He can afford a really nice globe. Just stay with him.
Okay.
It's really
Football
deep coverage.
question. Antonio, you did ask about, can we beat the Cowboys? We'll get to that here in a little bit. But let's start with this. Do we need to get Jalen Smith? I think released by the Rams. So
Well,
what are you guys' thoughts on that?
released by
no.
the Packers, but yeah, I'm also
Sorry.
going to go with no on that one. He was a name talked about when he was on the trading block earlier this year, as people really wanted him to come to Denver. I don't think there's any interest there from the team. So
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
yeah, I know we're real thin there, but I think they would probably. I mean, they asked Todd Davis to come out of retirement. I think they knew Jalen Smith would be available or was available. He was probably on the trade block from the Packers. They knew of his availability or impending availability, and they still asked Todd Davis to come out from retirement instead. So yeah, I think their interest in Jalen Smith is probably pretty low.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, at this point, having the extra depth. I mean, if you could pick him up for a minimum contract if he got released, why not? That's the real question. Is it's not so much are we gonna go out and try to get him, but at this point with the depth at linebacker that we have, which is I still don't know, other than our top two guys, why not go pick up a depth guy, especially if you can get him for the league minimum?
Well, so here's my thing on it. Didn't the Packers trade for him? They traded for him from the Cowboys, right? Did they not? Oh, they got okay. He was released. Well, so he's been released by both of the teams that he's been on this year.
Yeah.
To me, that says there's something a little bit more
flag.
going on than his product on the field.
Yeah.
And that's something that Broncos
country.
country doesn't do they don't do a whole bunch of, if it's any extras with drama behind the curtain,
Yeah,
they
they
just
don't take
do
risks
that.
like that usually.
No.
You're right.
No.
Not only did he get released by two teams, but the Packers released him after like 2 weeks.
Right.
Like that says a lot about a guy that you just went out and picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are willing to keep me this long,
That's
True.
that's
That's a fair point.
About you,
Yeah.
Ayla.
Yeah.
You guys are willing to keep me this long. There hasn't been like an uprising against me.
There's really no way to get you out. At this
Kevin,
point.
we can never get rid of the Brownie Foundation to this
The
Sunday.
Brownie
Get out of here.
Foundation. I like it. Okay.
Mm.
Here's a very real question: is there any way not to be covered up by this logo?
Let's do this, and then I'll do this.
That's what my goal was there, Jared. Was just lean back.
Just lean back. Yep.
I love that song.
Let's see. Okay, before we talk about the Cowboys game, what did you guys like about the Washington game? Was there something you liked? I know it was an ugly game, and of course, you guys can all hear our breakdown of it on the post game podcast. But especially for Jared, David, and Ayla, what are your thoughts on how that went down? It was gross. It was ugly. I don't want to really talk about it.
I would say the only ugly part about it was the fact that we saw that there could be more done and we just didn't do it. The execution just wasn't there on a lot of plays. The slow start again, really, and I think at this point it's just because we have such a bad taste in our mouth because of what happened in the past, basically all year and last year. But overall, finally finishing a game, I think that was big. The fact that we actually finished a game instead of just kind of like going through the motions.
Defense
in the fourth
anyway.
quarter.
I was gonna say, did we finish a game?
The defense did.
Yeah.
I mean, the score says we did.
Hey! The special teams did. Okay.
Yeah,
Especially in which we were all dogging on from the beginning. So we've kind of flipped around our team.
What?
We're like, our defense is going to be so good. And we got all this offense. And then look who finished it.
Resign Tom McMahon. That's what I'm saying. Let's do it.
Okay.
Give him another year, man.
Ayla as a big special teams fan for the Broncos.
Big time.
Yes.
Big time.
Hey, there's a reason why I have McManus on my fantasy. It's the only one who does.
Hey, Shelby Harris with the mitts, though. I mean, you can't hate on that. Every single
guy
year always comes in with the mitts.
You can never hate on
sometime.
that guy. And aren't we, everybody should feel grateful to have him back. Like, come on.
Yep.
There it is.
Well,
And we have to take, it might seem like a small victory, but you have to take it. We had lost so many in a row. We snapped it. And it's a great one to do. This is looking like a tough game to come up against, which nobody is like, oh, we're going to play the Cowboys. It's going to be hard. But this year, it probably will be. But at least we're coming off of a win. I missed that one. They're coming off of a win. I was blocking.
Man. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, and an ugly win versus a pretty win, I'll take it any day of the week.
An ugly win versus a pretty loss.
I don't know.
I'd rather have the ugly win. If we win the rest of the season really badly, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. I mean, when it comes down to a dogfight, if I'm going to lose, beat the crap out of me. But if I'm going to win, I'll win by a point. And that's it. I freaking won. So there you go. And we won by 7. So there you go.
It covered the spread, no less.
Yeah,
and
really.
Well, there you go.
And Rob,
cheers to
that. Who has recently joined us on the post game podcast, is the first person to correctly guess the score out of all the years we've been doing this.
That's not true.
Okay.
David correctly guessed the score on the pregame just for the other team.
Right.
It
exactly.
doesn't count at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it counts a little bit.
Actually it doesn't.
Okay.
How did you
I
not
got
even
all
pick?
the lottery numbers correct, except I was off by 1 on all of them. So I win.
That would be impressive.
Yeah.
Well, then you actually should win something, but it's completely different.
Yeah. And don't ask me how I could pick against the Broncos. You saw what they did against
and
the
you
Browns.
only win if you pick for the Broncos, David.
Yeah, so for the record, David now has to root against the Broncos the rest of the year.
That's true. I have to pick against Denver every week because otherwise they won't win. So
I'm gonna Red Cloud. I'm gonna take this opportunity to bash on the Raiders because I just love bashing on the Raiders. But I wonder what Gruden's saying about Ruggs via email. That's a good comment. That's good.
Comment.
I like that a lot.
Not guilty.
Jeez.
So from what
the car's still smoking, so we'll let that one rest.
Yeah. So from what we saw on Sunday, I guess, how do you all feel big picture wise about this game against the Cowboys? On the road, they're getting Dak back, and
but is he gonna be Dak, or is his calf gonna be all like wilty Sour Patch Kids? I don't know. We'll see.
Wilty Sour Patch.
You're the best analogy.
It's a good image.
We'll see. Well, it's just like, can we suck on that sucker and let it wilt down? I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Odds of winning in Dallas with Dak being back and the injuries we have on our team, I think, are pretty slim. I'm going to be honest with you. The Cowboys are playing very well defensively, which is the first time I think I've said that in 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably more like 15.
Yeah,
It's fans out. We kind of talked about that earlier. We'll see. Most likely, but we'll see.
I don't think it's possible for him to come back. I could be wrong with the COVID list, the COVID protocols.
Yeah,
that's Ayla's correct. He's listed as wilty.
Yeah. I mean, and I know about wilty calves because mine are gigantic, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough sled, and I'll take that, Steve. And you know what, Chris said the same thing. I love the enthusiasm. I do. As you guys will probably find out in the pregame podcast, my brother-in-law is a huge Cowboys fan, so I'll be watching it with my family. And I have a bet that I lost last year that I'm going to have to make good on the pregame podcast. So,
do you want to just get so hammered that you just like throw up all over the jersey? I want to
hear about this bet. I think we need a little preview.
You'll see.
Yeah. The preview is I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm actually meeting with the in-laws this weekend to watch the game together. We were going to go to Dallas and watch the game at the stadium, but it's kind of expensive. We're meeting up together, and he's bringing me a jersey I will have to wear on the pregame show.
I just get so hammered you just uke all over it.
So, well, and you know what the worst part? The bet that we made, and David's part of this, so he still has to wear one eventually.
Yeah.
But the worst part about this bet is that it was last year who was going to have a better season, and we both had such shitty seasons. They won by one game at the end of the year that it was just like, is this bet even worth it? Like, really? So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, when you're on the losing side, it's easy to question if the bet was worth it or not.
Well, he'll find out. Just tell him to make it a white jersey so your uke will sink into it.
There you go. I mean, it's all those Cowboys fans don't ever buy anything except those white jerseys because that's all they like to wear. So
yeah,
they hate their home colors so much.
I'll just in case I might just pour some orange rum and orange
there you
soda
go.
all over it. And,
oh no! Look what happened.
Oh no! Now it's an orange jersey.
You guys don't always eat creamsicles at games because I do.
What do you know? Which jersey you have to wear?
I don't yet. He's gonna surprise me. So
hopefully it's tiny. Hopefully he bought you like this girl's like tiny youth jersey.
The only one. There's not really a.
Jared would love that a little too much because
honestly, that might.
That's what I would do for somebody. Just like, no, you're gonna wear a jersey and buy him like the tiniest like kids like a teddy bear jersey.
Not only would I wear it, but I would rock it.
Jared, when that happens, make sure you put it on the OnlyFans.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, let's see what we got.
It is going to be a hard game. I mean, I am always on the optimism side, but I'm a little bit worried. And I have a couple Cowboys friends that are already talking shit to me because that's what people do. Because they can't help it because I'm so Broncos proud. But whatever, bring it. I don't care.
Well, I'll be there yelling as loudly as I can. So you guys
give me your teddy bear jersey. I'll wear it. I don't care.
There you go. To your question about Diggs, Glenn, it doesn't sound like we know quite yet. He was scheduled for further evaluation yesterday.
Nobody will know till the end of the week for anything.
Right. It's the Cowboys. They'll keep it to themselves until 90 minutes before the game.
As they should.
Now, I will say if Dak was that close to playing this last week, I think it's probably a good bet that he plays.
Yeah.
And even if he didn't, the Broncos defense played better against Washington, but I don't have ultimate faith in them that they're going to just shut down Cooper Rush considering how he played.
Exactly.
So, I would expect either quarterback to have semi-effective to very effective play against this defense. It doesn't really matter there. We could use all the advantages we can get, and unfortunately, it's another game. We won 17-10 last week, but we lost Garrett Bowles and Bryce Callahan for at least one game. Callahan's going on the IR, so he's going to be gone for at least 3. Just more starters dropping like flies out there. Just when we thought we were getting reinforcements.
I assume this is what I get for showing up late, but we also lost Von Miller. So
wait.
Oh no! Oh my God! Thank you for the headline news.
Wait,
wow.
what happened?
What?
David, you can't talk about people we lost after last game without mentioning the fact that we no longer have
talking about.
David, if you've been living under a rock this whole time, I mean, do you need some food, some water? Do you need some assistance?
Haven't you seen his apartment contract? Like under the rock, number 2.2.
Yeah, it's my lease. Come on.
Is that why I keep sending it to Rockway? Rockway.
That's right.
RW is what that stands for.
And why you have to write in the delivery instructions under the rock.
Under the rock.
Yeah.
Under the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's why I stopped mailing him, because it got sent back every time.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Anyway, we discussed Von Miller pretty thoroughly. Yeah, when you miss the first 25 minutes of the show.
And we have 2 Von Miller jerseys, which I didn't think David had anything other than a hoodie and pajamas, so we all were surprised by that as well.
Yeah, I don't have any. I have no jerseys belonging to current Broncos team members, though.
Mine neither.
I do better when they're not current. I feel like I'm cursed if I like put them on my roster or wear them on my back.
Fair enough.
I'm the same way. I got no current. I got Lindsey, Harris, and Vaughn, and those are my 3 top jerseys. All of them gone. It's rough.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, all right, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about the Cowboys. What do you think? Any possibility they win?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a possibility in that, like Erica says, if they sleep on us, if they go in there expecting that they're just going to roll over us and somehow like things just go in our favor, they come out, the Cowboys come out undisciplined, get a ton of penalties. We're able to just make some crazy plays happen, get some points on the board early, and throw them off their game plan.
We're going offense now, which has to happen. So, Jerry Jeudy, stay healthy, got him back. Let's just utilize all this talent that we thought we had on offense from the beginning of the season. Let him sleep on that and stay healthy that way. Regardless if it's a shootout and score, because our defense might not be everything that we all thought it was going to be at the very beginning of the season. But let it be a shootout on points. Let them all drive up 30 plus, but we still win it by 1. I'll take the ugly win. Just like I said earlier.
I will take a loss and we score more than 17 points.
Yeah.
No.
I'd be like, wow, we scored 20 points?
If we can score more than 2 touchdowns, I'll be fucking
Yeah, Ayla, I don't know what about this team gives you hope that we're going to be in any kind of a shootout. If it's a shootout, that means we're getting blown out.
Because I always believe in it. Because I am the imperial optimist of just we're going to do it. And I have this awesome vintage victory dress that I'm always hoping to bust out. So
I will say this: Jerry Jeudy did not have the impact I thought he was going to have this week coming back.
He just got back. He just
that. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm wondering if that's him just, working back into the lineup, and maybe he does have more of an impact this week. So maybe
there's other people, that do good things as well. I mean, so
maybe we'll get Albert O back. And
Yep.
We're losing Fant, but he is a playmaker too. He's one of the fastest tight ends in the league. And we have Sutton.
I think we have a record of how many people have typed Ayla into the comments today. So thank you guys.
That's literally every time you're on the show, Ayla.
Right.
It is.
Shouldn't be a surprise by now,
basically.
And it's not my mom, so I'm really happy for that.
Also,
it's usually my mom.
Usually, not always.
There's still time. She can pop on.
Absolutely.
No,
she'll be.
Yeah, she's in the air. She's literally.
They don't have Wi-Fi on those planes?
She's probably passed out.
She's not watching Orange Weekly on the plane?
If she was, she would show everybody and be like, look at my dad.
Oh, man.
We got the United flight joining us tonight.
All right, never mind. Anyways,
Glenn's right. On all of our other shows, everyone's like, "Where's Ayla?"
True. Like she's not here. She's not here.
Oh, Glenn, I'm sorry for not being here.
It's fine. Yeah.
I want to mention this, Red Cloud. You know, I don't think it's that he can't make the deliveries. I just don't think he's reading properly. I've mentioned this on shows before. I don't think it's so much that he can't make the throws. We've seen Teddy make those throws. We've seen him, you know, sometimes it's a little bit, the deeper stuff's kind of needs to get dialed in still, and I hate saying that 8 weeks in the season, but it's more about reading the defense and being able to find the open receiver. His timing routes, the one thing that I was impressed on, his timing routes were getting a little bit better, specifically on third downs. He was making those timing route throws pretty well, but I don't know. I don't think it's a fact that he can't do it, and I think honestly either one of the quarterbacks can. Neither one of them can read, and I think that's where our issue is. And if neither one of them can read a defense in a certain offense, you have to point at one position, and that's the coach. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but since the Raiders game when he got hurt, it just seems like it's been a different Teddy for the Broncos, and maybe it's the competition level. Sure, that's definitely the case, but. As far as throws go, I mean, that first drive when he overthrew Fant and it was an easy interception,
that was bad.
That was
real.
Well, okay, so we can we put like numbers into figures because he did really well for the first few games, then got hurt, and then he's kind of been catching up to it, which aren't we all a little bit more cautious after you've been hurt? You kind of can't help but I mean, anybody who's played a sport and then your finger hurts the next week or your knee or anything, you're always a little bit more cautious and a little bit different from when you started. And nobody can discredit the way that we started, even though they weren't the best teams, but he was looking pretty darn good.
We had talks with him.
And then so maybe he just needs to start building it back up again because there's my ultimate optimism behind the whole thing because I know when my finger was jammed, I never played quite the same. And I was always a little bit more weird after that. And maybe he's just going through the same thing of whatever I know mine was only high school. Knock it off, John. I see you laughing.
No, I just saying, so that's why you're weird, your jammed finger.
No, I'm weird because I'm just weird, but
yeah.
I know I'm not discrediting what you're saying, Ayla,
but it is you can't help but be more cautious. I mean, you don't just throw yourself back into it 100% right away. And so he might have gotten a little bit momentum this weekend, and we can see him because I thought he looked different in the second half too. I mean, I thought maybe that's just me, but
I mean, I think all the second halves in the last couple of games, unfortunately, they've been too out of hand to be able to control.
Well, and we
in this second half we came out winning,
and we can't win, you know, if we're only playing half games or only fourth quarters when it comes down to it. Because let's be real, sometimes the games we've only played the fourth quarter in the last 4 games, but if that's the momentum that he needed, and now he's going to play 3 out of the 4 quarters this week. It absolutely could win.
Which is why the Broncos really could turn around at any point, right? Like
at any point. We're not mathematically eliminated, you guys.
Until the coaching staff gives us confidence. Like we just need to see it. That's the only thing I'm looking for.
Do you actually have a calculator? Get
for any time someone says not mathematically eliminated. This is my
ready.
This is my bit.
It's not real, Ayla. It's actually a chocolate bar that
Oh my god! Yay!
Yeah, right.
Give me that chocolate bar.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, I can see why a little bit of a setback, then he's not feeling great. Because with the game that I was at, it's like, okay, now we have to have lock, and now we have to get everything going again. And he came off of a huge injury, so... And it's NFL. And now he's going to have, the offensive line has never been our strong point. So he's got to always worry about that too.
I'm just worried. So the Raiders game, we obviously got pressed 4-man rush. Like they never had to blitz and they got pressure, which is frustrating. Last game, he looked like he had a little bit more time. They still ended up with, I think, 3 or 4 sacks, which was unfortunate, which was I think I got, I made an expletive at the halftime hash because I got that bet on that sack.
Because you were channeling me.
Yeah, no, I came in and made a couple words, and Kevin's like,
"And
we're live."
I had just hit it too.
But no, I think what's fresh, like, he just needs to get that confidence back to be able to sit in the pocket and make the ball, deliver the footballs. And that you could tell he threw the football, the one that he overthrew Fant off his back foot, but he didn't need to, and that's what was frustrating. He had a clean pocket, and he just didn't step up into it, which that comes back to confidence and being able to work with these guys. The offense is the one. Oh, now minus Garrett Bowles and KJ Hamler early in the season, who's a third receiver. So in most places, losing your third receiver is not a huge thing. This is the one side of the ball that we have all of our starters still playing, and now with absent of Garrett Bowles, it's going to be worse.
And Fant too.
Well, we'll see about Fant. He's not absolutely out yet. Like,
no, but yeah, he may even. Yeah, but
okay, but let's stop. Let's stop.
In general, last game,
it before it's called. Like, talk to me on Saturday afternoon when the injury report's
let's talk
all
against
the way out.
the 32nd ranked defense in the Washington football team against the pass. We didn't look like a team that had all of our starters out there. You know and that's what's frustrating, and I think that's what everyone's feeling right now is that frustration and maybe his comfort in the pocket. Let's say the run game was looking real good. Our run game was getting the job done when we needed to. They were getting actually 6 yards as opposed to 2 or -1, which was nice. We're looking at 3rd and 2s as opposed to 3rd and 8s. So overall, the drives were getting better, but again, it's against a Washington football team.
It should
but
be
their
better.
defense, but that defensive line on the Washington football team is like star-studded.
Yeah.
So
sure.
who would have thought that we would be able to control the line of scrimmage in this game specifically? Right. So it's going to be super interesting to see how it goes going forward. But abandoning the run game is.
And they had 20 rushes.
Game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the run game go?
Yeah.
It was closer.
Well, and that's what will save Teddy is just let those runs work. Whether it be the running backs between the two of them, and those tight ends can run too. Like, I never forget about that. And they're gigantic, and let them work that way. It doesn't even have to be a short pass. Like, just, shuffle it and go.
Okay.
Don't even talk. I mean, because I want him to air it out, but I always want him to air it out because that's just more fun football to watch for me.
Right.
But
and now it's official. Melvin Gordon will be on the Broncos for the rest of the season. I know a lot of people were talking about maybe he'd be traded.
Traded. No, I don't think that. But what else would we have done with it? No, it's silly to think that he'd be gone.
What?
Never mind. I talk really fast for John's ears.
No, I think a lot of people were expecting him to get possibly traded because a lot of teams are running back looking for a lot of running backs.
Yeah,
and they're running back thirsty.
The Tennessee Titans.
Well, and we picked up Mike Boone for a reason.
Oh, that's pretty bad too. I know. I usually have him on my fantasy.
But with the way that Javonte Williams has played, right? He looks like the future there. We're probably not going to re-sign Gordon, so it seemed like a situation, where maybe you get some draft capital, and now you have the starter in Javonte Williams. That is the future. But what I was getting
we've seen how it works with having the both of them be, decently healthy.
And there's nothing. I'm not saying we should have traded him. I'm just saying we do have.
And he might be cheap to keep since he's old. I would know because I'm old. I'm cheap to keep.
But he's been playing well. So is Javonte. So yeah, we need to get these guys more touches in games. That is the bottom line, right?
Yep. Yeah, 20 carries this week, and it's still, I think it feels like a month, season high almost, and it's still not quite what we need. I 4.7 yards per carry for Melvin Gordon this week, 3.9 for Javonte Williams. I don't know. I feel like we can say run the ball more and don't abandon the run every week, but Pat Shurmur's going to Pat Shurmur.
Yeah. And that's why we have no faith in this offense, right?
Yeah.
Not the player's ability as much as it is. I just doesn't feel like the coaching is there.
Yeah.
For me, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the same offense we're used to as Broncos country either, right? We're used to a run first offense, and Shurmur comes in with a pass first offense mentality. That's just what it is, and unfortunately, you can't come in with a pass first mentality when you have Teddy Bridgewater.
When you have a secondary quarterback who's not used to just being the man.
Right. Right. Unless you have high powered guys, which
And I don't even think anybody knew how. I mean, we believed it, Devontae Williams, but like, I think his skill has shown everybody how much more he is. So the adaptability of the coaches to me has been disappointing. Of like, you have this immense talent that you have numbers for, and the rest of the NFL is able to point it out. And you don't just change your plan to work around this amazing talent that you've acquired. To me, that is the disappointing part when it comes to coaching, because you should be adaptable to how good your players are, and you should work around your talent.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I have your guys' coaches' brains, but that's just, what comes into my sense of like, you use what you have, and he's an amazing talent.
Yeah.
Same with some other guys. We're not utilizing their talent. No, fam. Use what we have. Quit trying to force, the puzzle piece that's not fitting together right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we said last year too with Locke at quarterback. We said, look, you have Locke. You kind of know what you have in Locks. While we're trying to figure out, if he's going to be a long-term solution, why aren't you adapting your game plan to him? And we didn't, and we're seeing it again this year. And
yeah.
I think Shermer is keeping his job because of Fangio's loyalty to him, and ultimately that could be Fangio's downfall.
Will be at this point. It will be.
No, at this point, I don't think Fangio fires Shermer because Fangio's still going to get fired too. They might as well go together when they go. So yeah,
and it's just like any good couples counseling would tell you. Like, just because a relationship is going for a long time doesn't mean that it's working really well. So.
No, I'm not saying it's working. It's just there.
Exactly. Just because it's been going on for a long time doesn't mean it's working. So figure it out after that.
Yeah.
I feel like we bring Ayla on for just life lessons and therapy.
I learn a lot from it.
Like I learn a little bit more every week that Ayla's on the show.
Yes.
It's great. I love it.
I mean,
you come here not for Broncos. You come here for life lessons.
I come here for Broncos.
No, I'm talking about me.
I just have a different perspective than
I
give a different perspective to things of like, I'm outside of the D.
Yeah. That was a compliment, by the way. I wasn't saying that.
Okay. Reno.
Thank you would have worked that time.
Hey, Mr. Red Cloud. So my comment here is, how is Kyle Shanahan doing in San Francisco? They're not.
I mean,
Can you really say that he'd be doing a whole lot better? I mean,
I'm after what Kisla said on Twitter today, I'm not doing any more hypotheticals for the rest of the
that's
show.
a fair point.
I hate hypotheticals.
Yeah, we can't. There's no way. There's no way to say. There's no way to say what Kyle Shanahan would be doing here instead of there. We've got what we've got, and what we've got isn't good. But we can't sit around and torture ourselves with, oh, hey, what if this was great? What if it's
like a distraction from reality?
Right. Yeah, I understand.
So I don't do a lot of pregame shit. I just hate hypotheticals. I'd rather talk about it after the fact. Like, I really can't. I can't with any of it. I hate preseason. I hate pregames. I just want to talk about it after it's actually happened. And something that actually happened with Kyle Shanahan, I was super disappointed. I thought that should have been a great fit, but will I ever know? No. So can I dwell on it and talk about, like, would it have been better? I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Did I want it to happen?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's it.
There are a couple of things there too. Okay, obviously we're biased, right? He's he's Mike Shanahan's son, so every Broncos fan's gonna be like, yes, we need him. We just came off of Josh McDaniels, probably the worst tenured coach for the Broncos in my fandom of a Bronco fan.
I don't know. Him and Vance Joseph were pretty like.
Maybe it's my bias against the Patriots that.
Yeah, probably.
McDaniels more.
He was terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but we gave McDaniels the keys, right? We gave him Mike Shanahan's role. We let him pick the team. He got to do whatever he wanted, and that's what Kyle Shanahan was wanting when he came here. And they were ready to do that again because it just blew up in their face. So putting myself in their shoes, I understand why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but he would have had more foresight. I mean, he would have had his dad backing him up, like Josh Daniels. Who did he have backing him up? Nobody,
Belichick.
because he didn't care about the Broncos the way that anybody should care about the Broncos, and that's the thing, is you have to have passion behind it too.
Right. I
You
think they were
do.
looking for someone to bring in a GM, right? They didn't want a coach GM like they had, because it stopped working at the end of Mike Shanahan's career, right?
Yeah,
And they didn't want to do that again. And they tried it again with McDaniels. That didn't work. They wanted a GM.
Well,
coach.
and let's get real with that. We've had a hard thing, since losing Pat Bowlen. This whole family battle has not been good for the team in general. So, that is never. We have to all be on the same team, same boat. Can't be fighting it. That's going to be a really hard thing, no matter what. Until that gets figured out, that's going to be really hard.
100%. And I don't know. I think every episode of the show, we're going to talk about how it starts with ownership with this team. Until we get that and we get a direction and just leadership from the top down, it might be a rough ride. And I think we're seeing the end of that, right? This offseason, we're supposed to have some changes happen. That's the right.
I thought it was 2023, but is it this year? Is it 2022?
We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until it happens, we don't know. But
maybe I'm a year off because
that's
I'm always off. But
so,
I don't know. I just think that makes it hard for everybody in general.
100%.
Agreed. 100%.
I made the point last week. Joel
100%.
does not have a job probably on any other team in the NFL, and he gets to run the Broncos right now.
Yeah, right. All right, boys and girls, let's close this out.
On that high note,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, on that high note. Yeah.
Let's all find something good to say about these Denver Broncos before we.
Ayla's been negative all night.
Ayla hasn't said something bad about the Broncos.
Yeah, no, I need to hold on. Let me do some Googling.
For some positivity.
Okay.
Now you're doing Googling with like 30 seconds to go. You're like, let me just make this happen.
Well, in my defense, I've only been here for like 15 minutes. So
That's true.
Greg just showed it.
And only 8 minutes and non-mute.
Right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Why don't I'll start. The 2021 draft class looks really good. Kind of from top to bottom, too. You've got Pat Surtain and Javonte Williams, obviously. Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper have been forced into more playing time. They've looked really good. Quinn Miners, somebody asked earlier, and I think it's a legitimate question as to whether Quinn Miners should be playing more instead of Dalton Reisner, who, listen, I'm sorry, has not looked good. It started rough for him, and it's gotten worse this season, not better for him. Caden Stern, absolutely. I'd like to see Jamar Johnson out there and playing more because I think he can contribute too. But yeah, the Broncos have gotten really quality snaps from a lot of their rookies so far, and so go ahead.
Kerry Vincent, who was a 7th round draft pick, we just traded for a 6th round draft pick.
True.
The guy didn't even touch the field.
True.
Right.
Really.
Not only did he not touch the field, he never dressed. He didn't even dress for a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was never on our active roster.
No, he was never active once. So yeah, the roster I think is improved. I like the draft class, and I think we can look forward to at least better draft classes from here on out.
Well, I think I'm gonna build on that one literally and just say that I think that's where we're at as a football team, is they're building from the bottom up right now. So maybe not next year, but the year after, if we can keep everybody together and healthy, that we'll have a quality football team. Quarterback situation, Red Cloud, we drafted another one that wouldn't have fixed us this year. We wouldn't have drafted the perfect quarterback for this year. It never would have happened. There wasn't a perfect quality quarterback, in my opinion, that would have just magically made the Broncos win the Super Bowl this year. It wasn't going to happen. I still don't hate Teddy Bridgewater as our quarterback, and I will follow through with that until he, falls out underneath us, until the bridge falls out.
I see what you did there.
But I think we have a lot to build on from this, and it might not look like the prettiest season happening right now, but we have a lot to go from. here on up, and I think that's where we're going from now, is building with what we have is some quality, really young guys who we can just go on. So that's my positive take on the Broncos right now.
I like
What,
it. I have two things.
Yeah.
First of all, what are people seeing in Justin Fields that makes them like want the Broncos to have him right now? Like, is he playing lights out that I'm missing?
And that's the thing.
Because
Like,
sometimes there's a name behind people and hype.
Why are we not talking about how awesome Pat Surtain has been?
Yeah,
He
because
is awesome.
people want to.
Pretty
People have
shut
their
down.
access to grind. People have their
He
access
is
to
awesome,
grind.
and a quarterback wouldn't have been better over him. Sorry, Red Cloud. Like,
Yeah,
No.
skip this. I'm not doing this hypothetical again. Where we should have
No.
picked this other thing because it would have been better for us. Get out of here. I'm not.
what quarterback?
Well,
Tell me
not only
which
that,
one.
but in this Shermer offense, there's no way he'd be worse than he is in Chicago.
Yeah, Mac Jones in the Shermer offense. Forget about it. I'm
Mhm.
not doing. None of these quarterbacks would have done well with this coaching staff. the way
None
it's
of 'em.
been. None of them would have
them.
saved these coaches' jobs.
Not even the one decent one from last year, Justin Sherbert, who went to the Chargers, who is semi-decent, wouldn't have worked here either. Like,
yeah, every
Sherbert,
quarterback is
Herbert, no.
every quarterback is
Sherbert.
dependent. Every rookie quarterback is
Long
dependent
hair,
on the quarterback.
shaggy, long nosed guy, Trevor Lawrence wouldn't have worked. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, none
I-
of them.
Patrick Surtain has, we said
Is
in
so
the offseason,
talented.
we are so loaded at cornerback, he's going to be like number 4 on the depth chart, which is a good thing. He'll be able to learn. He's going to be a long-term solution. He's our number 1 cornerback over these guys, and he looks like the playmaker that he is. So, I'm sorry, but get over this. Like, we didn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah,
Right.
get over
Yeah.
it. It wouldn't have been, nothing would have been fixed by drafting a young guy.
Right.
Because the
It's been-
same situation is going to happen. We'd be calling for his head at this point and say, oh, why did we draft this quarterback?
Right.
Right.
And
He sucks.
and we'd still
Get
be looking for
better
coaching
at
staff
it.
for a new coaching staff next year. Like that's
Yeah.
the
Yep.
it would, we'd still be looking for a new coach. So
I think part of the
Sorry.
pick of PS2 overall, from George Payton's point of view, was the fact that was a more confident pick, and he can play in any defensive coordinator's system anywhere. While Justin Fields can't play in any offensive coordinator system, he definitely doesn't fit in the Shermer system. But whoever he decides to get in the future, he's not going to be able to play. If we're going to draft a quarterback of the future, we have to have an offensive coordinator of the future. And I feel like at the time, we just didn't have it, and we still don't have it.
I mean, that's the thing. You're now if we had drafted a quarterback this offseason, the team would not have a winning record right now. And then you're talking about bringing in a new coach with a quarterback that he didn't draft. You're looking for a coach after you've already picked the quote unquote quarterback of the future. So now you're trying to find the best coach that you think fits your guy instead of finding your coach first and letting him go pick his guy.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense any way you look at it.
Which opens up a lot for this offseason. As again, I don't want to be negative, but as we look towards offseason, it opens up a lot.
All right,
if
so
we
let's
do get
keep
a
going
new
with
OC.
the positive thoughts.
Oh, positives.
Jared, what's your
Hey.
positive thought?
We won.
I'm just going to throw that out.
We won a game.
Won.
We broke
We've won
our.
again. We've won more than one game. Get out
We
of here.
broke our losing
Yeah.
streak, which I think is super important against a team that's struggling, and again shows us that we can actually win games. We have a tough road ahead of us. That's going to be difficult, especially this next week as we're talking about the Cowboys game. After that, Philly's beatable, and they've shown that they're beatable going into the bye week. So we might go in 500 into the bye week, and I'm not too mad at that.
Yeah.
And
as
we
come
finally
out of
got
it.
a good week for the bye week, which I think in the last few years we've just had it too early in the season to make it worthwhile for your bye week. So I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. And in general, I think just these Broncos are starting to. I hope the locker room's starting to come together, and you can kind of start seeing it. We played 4 full quarters this week, and that was
Are you
kinda
hoping they're
nice.
gelling?
Got to saw that coming.
Well,
But yeah,
we
no,
played 4
I
quarters
think the
on
win.
defense, Jared.
What's that?
We played 4 quarters on defense.
We played 4 quarters on defense. I'll give you that. Yeah. And I wish eventually we'll learn from our lessons. What's the definition of insane? Doing the same thing and expect this different results.
Yep.
So again, not negative, but going forward, I think if we just build on this momentum off the win, then we'll be in a good position. But being 500 at this point in the season is not the worst case scenario, but it's also not the greatest. So
Yeah.
We're one game out of the playoffs, and it seems like. But Peyton said it himself. Like we're 4-4, but it feels like we're 1-7.
Well,
Like,
you
it
got to
does.
look at our schedule. And
I
so
was gonna say,
I'll
yeah,
leave that
Kevin,
for.
you're always going to bring up the schedule again with the downer mentality. I get it.
I know.
I'm going
Well,
to leave
you know,
that. I'm going to leave that for
that's-
future conversations.
All
I'm
right.
going to say.
But with the talent that we have, that's not being. I seriously feel like it's not being utilized. I do think that we can turn around at any given week.
All right.
That's a good point. Both Ayla and John made that exact point, and I think that's really cool. Like the fact that we've seen it, and this year we've seen the fact that they can do the job. It can turn around at any point. Watch us go into. Oh man, I'm telling you, if I'm watching this with my brother-in-law and we go in there and just absolutely destroy Dallas, I might be more drunk than I am normally, and just having such a great time, throwing around orange and blue Jello shots would be awesome. But yeah, you're right. At any point in the season, I could see us turning this around.
I like this, Glenn. We are, the goal for the Broncos was to be able to hang tight with the Chiefs this year and keep up with them, and we are.
yeah,
So,
that's that
job,
goalpost.
Broncos.
That goalpost moved despite the Broncos not having moved it. But
that's not true,
I'll
Dave.
take it.
We won in September. We lost in
guess.
October, but we won in September.
boy, did we lose in October. Yes, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
All
And I
right.
know we're running late, but we got some newer joins here. This is a good question. Who do we rally behind to finish up this season?
I think you look at somebody like Shelby Harris, who's been playing lights out the last couple games. He's
Loads of booze is a Michelob Ultra. All right.
I can't speak for Ayla, but I like that comment.
Okay.
I don't know. I think somebody like Shelby Harris has the right opportunity to step up and be that leader and that voice of the team. He has the experience. He's been playing lights out. He can energize the team. I think that's a good guy to look towards to really step up and rally around.
I'm going to go with the guy who
had a good comeback game, right?
Justin Simmons is
Damn it,
still
John.
is still a great team leader when he's doing his thing. You know, it's as weird and shoddy as our defense seems. We still have some super mega stars in my eyes. As drunk as I am off my Michelob, not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Yeah, Ayla, we got to save those for the sponsors.
Jeez.
As my light beer.
Mm-hmm.
I will always say Michelob, great golfing beer, great beach beer. It keeps you light and you're able to,
I know. Just drink a 6-pack, 3 on the front and 3 on the back. You're good.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like, maybe 6 on the front, 6 on the back, but
Yeah, that's
we'll
better.
have our tolerance.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kareem Jackson before somebody else talks and steals my other pick because, yeah, I'm running out of ideas after that. There you go, Christopher. It's going to be Kareem Jackson. I think he and Simmons are kind of the heart of that defense anyway, and I think Jackson's the more verbal leader. So that's kind of who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Wow. I love you guys. I love our,
It's been
I
fun.
love our fans.
Kev, you haven't said your positive statement yet.
I did.
Kevin gave it.
That we're tied with the Chiefs. I said that was my positive.
That's your positive statement?
No, you know what? As much crap as I have given the special teams, I will talk positive about special teams the way they played this last week. Even with McManus's miss, and that was a slight miss. It wasn't his fault. Like, it was a slight miss.
Did McMahon text you or something and say, "Hey, you're being too mean"?
He's a human, okay? It happens. He made a little mistake, so it was his fault. But he made a little mistake. That's okay.
Not
But
McMahon, it's McMahon.
I will
You
give
have been the
I'll
biggest
get some
critic
props.
of our special teams coordinator, which we all are. But
Yeah,
I will
right.
give some props to special teams and how they played. That doesn't mean I like Tom McMahon. I cannot believe he's still with the team. But special teams.
you heard it
did
here
play
first,
well,
McMahon. Kevin doesn't like you.
yeah.
so surprise.
Personal vendetta.
Anyway, there you go.
No, special teams came through, and that could, they would have been in position with 3 field goals to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Glenn, excellent question here as we close it out. I hate to say this, but they actually wear them on the sideline as it is. That is the official sideline hat does indeed have the puff ball attached to it, and it has not so far contributed to the success. I can say for certain that visors would not help at all. In fact, they would probably take them in the opposite direction at this time of the year with the uncovered part of the head.
Yeah.
I
you're
mean,
going to lose a lot of
there's more. There's
you're
more
gonna-
wins with people wearing visors than there are with people wearing pom poms.
I don't know if that's accurate.
That's
I don't know if
about
that's
it.
true. I don't know if that's proven. I
Look
think
on the
you're trying
sideline.
to
Look on the
catch
sideline on this game and
I
see
just
how
want
many
you guys
people on the
to
sidelines are wearing
all,
visors.
have this
Just
into
tell me.
consideration. I can pull hair through the top of this hat, which is really fun.
Okay, well, okay.
We're going to
hey,
come
let's
back to that.
decide.
We're going to come back to that. But
Here's our preview for our
Here
after
you go
show.
with the pom-pom visor.
yeah, Jared, we're gonna
Unity.
I'm gonna need
That's
some
unity
numbers.
right there. That's how you get everybody on board.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some numbers
I've
on
got
that.
a
Jared.
hat hole.
All right, so next episode, I'm bringing screenshots of all the people wearing visors on the sidelines.
All right.
Of
Bring it
Bron-
on.
They
on
just
the
get more
Broncos sideline.
coverage, right? They get more. They get more video time.
You just more, yeah.
You know.
I think it depends
Think
on
about
the
the pom-poms
actual
that aren't
day and
being
if
shown.
they're cold or not. Is really what it comes
Yeah.
down to.
I don't think I've seen any pom poms on the
I'd
sidelines.
wear this
on-
if I was cold.
It hasn't been cold at the games yet.
I mean,
I'd wear
ever.
this-
Jared, have you tried coaching?
Kevin
with the
doesn't
sunburn
get
on the top
cold,
of your
so
head?
his
Does that
thermometer
distract
doesn't
you?
count.
Does the
does
sunburn
count.
It is.
distract
This
you?
area specifically, actually, you know,
And David,
this is
I'm
an
glad
after.
that you're distracted by your phone while we're trying. I'm defending you, and I'm not even.
Yeah.
What are you saying, John? I can't. I'm not even paying attention. What's
I was just asking Jared if he had trouble coaching with a sunburn on the top of his head.
That's a fair point, Jared. Thoughts, questions?
There's no sunburn because you see this
His
beautiful hair,
hairline isn't that
Yeah, I do.
terrible.
just amazing
I know,
hair.
Good.
'cause I've
Gotta
got
show it off.
terrible hairline.
Jared's
I don't think a visor should cover that thing up. I'm going to push everybody to the no hat.
Oh, wait a minute! I just got Glenn's on board. We have a new member of Team Puffball here. Glenn makes the
Wait, you don't want to
point.
be? You don't want to be team hat hole?
What
Team
is
hair
this,
hole?
Ayla? This is team hat hole. That's
Right.
that's what a visor
That's a
is.
Hat hole?
gigantic gaping hole.
Ayla,
Mine's
until
a
we get more
tiny
girls
one.
on this show, I don't think
Mine's
you're
a,
gonna have
mine's a
team.
tiny hole.
I'm just gonna go ahead and let Team Hat Hole.
All right, is this the after
Speak for
show?
itself.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're on the
Yeah,
after show yet. This is our after show content.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna do the after show?
Never mind. I got it.
We will be discussing the merits of visor.
Go Broncos.
Yeah,
Go
Supervisor
on.
versus Puffball live on the after show.
on
Look
the
for the
after show.
YouTube link.
As per usual. Okay.
Let me just
But
get my hair back through my tiny
let's
hole.
Let's finish it off as we always do.
waiting for Ayla. Waiting for Ayla.
Ayla's playing
There
in a
we go.
tiny hole.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Go
Take care,
Broncos.
everyone.
Go Broncos.
What I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know